Okay. The red is going to be considered a black wire. And this black wire obviously is going to go to black. So one of the black wires is going to there, the other black wire is going to the red. And the red and white wire, see it's got a little white strip on it? We're going to connect that to the red one that's coming onto that switch. Usually the red one is the one that goes over to the other three-way to make it a three-way. And the two black wires are considered the powers for the switch. Okay, so these on the new one, I don't know why they did red. They could have just done black and black, but for some reason they decided to do that. Okay. All right, so now I can go ahead and unscrew these. And I think I'm going to leave the ground wire. Well, it doesn't really matter. I can take the ground wire off first. I've got the power all off. But if for some reason there's other power in this junction box, I don't think there is. I'm not quite sure where these two go. I've never been able to figure that out, and they might be power down to half of an electrical outlet or something. I do have a set of plans for this house that was given to us when we purchased the house. And I can look on the plans and see under the electrical plans and look at these two and see where those go. That's what I should do. And you know what? If you don't have a set of plans for your house, you can get some. I'll make another video on that later. Okay. And on here, they've got a couple wires plugged into the back. This one happens to be wrapped around a screw. And so, since it is wrapped around a screw, I'm going to take that off. I'm going to try not to cut the wire because I don't know how long the wire is. I like to keep the wires as long as possible. Okay, so I'm going to have to kind of slide this. I have to slide this up kind of and then push down on it to get it off that screw, see? Like that. That's how I got that off there. And for some reason, like I say, they've got, well, let's see. Okay, I've got that one under the screw. Let's go ahead and undo the other black one. They've got this one under a screw too. Just trying to see if I can get that off. Oh, there. Okay. See? Those two. Now I'm going to undo the ground wire now. Let's see here. Let's just think about something here for a second. That was right there. And the black one was on this black screw here. And that's very odd. I don't know. So they had that like that. And usually on the black, on the black screw, usually that's where the red wire goes. So they might have hooked this up a different way. They might be using this red wire as power. I don't know why they would do that. I really not quite sure, but I think that's what they've done. So I'm going to have to wire this up a different way. Okay, so I'm going to have to remember this wire here was the one that was connected to this black screw. Okay, that's what it is. So this black screw, this black wire is going to be not the power wire, it's going to be the other one. So that one is going to be connected to this red and white. Yep. Hopefully I'm not confusing you. These two are considered the powers, this red and the black. And the way that they've hooked this up on the switch, the black power here and this red one they're using as power because that's connected to the gold screw, and there was a gold screw here. And usually, if this was a single pole switch and wasn't a three-way, it would be power and power. And then this black wire would be the one that goes, or this black screw would go for the wire for the three-way. And that's how I've always hooked it up, so that this odd separate screw, the red wire, would always connect to that. That's how I was taught. But see, looking at this, that's not the case, is it? I've got to be really mindful of that. Jeez, I don't like that. Okay, so this black wire over here is going to be connected to the red and white on that new dimmer. Shh. Okay. I'm going to have to just remember that. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and take the ground. And once I hook it all up, I'll turn the power back on before I screw it back into the wall, and then I'll check it. And worst case scenario, if it doesn't work, I'll have to flip-flop the wires, but I'm pretty sure I'm right. Okay, so take that off. Let's see, the red wire they've got pushed in. They didn't hook it over a screw. There's a little hole right there. You push that in with a little screwdriver. I'm always using this screwdriver. And sometimes when you get a small screwdriver, the end isn't like that. See this screwdriver? This one, actually, this was longer and it got pushed into this plastic. But I still use it now and again. And see, most small screwdrivers are like this. See how big the tip is? Look at that tip. See? This one's way smaller, isn't it? And this one's fatter. And this was thinner. Need one like this one right here. If I had a small one, you know, if this small one was this size, I couldn't. Half the things that I do, 3/4 of the things I do with this small screwdriver, I could not do. Okay, I'm going to push that in there. And that should release this, and then I can pull out on it. See? Look at that. It loosened right up. Okay, so now I gotta be really aware what's going on here. I'm just gonna rearrange these wires. I know the one with the loop-de-loos. See how they looped it around and around and around? That, and maybe that was their way of saying, hey, that's what we're gonna do. But that's kind of That's kind of weird too, because this wire is going back that way, and it's not part of these two wires here are coming out of a separate area in there. These are connected with a white wire that was coming down off of there and a ground wire. That's kind of funky. It almost is telling me that you know, this one right here should be the power. That should be power. That was black wire was, or the red wire was hooked up there, and the black wire was down at that screw. Oh man. That's kind of, you know, my instincts tell me not to hook it up the way I just told you. But I think I should. And then I'll turn it on and see if it works. Now see, all of these loops I need to straighten out because I'm not going to use the loops anymore. Because I've got wires on the back side of all this, see? Okay, wire nets on all of it. And so that's what I'm going to continue to do here. That's pretty long. That's pretty long. This one, I don't know why they looped it all together like that. Because see, I want to get these loops out of here too. Because I may end up cutting some of this wire off, rerouting it a little bit. Because see, the switch that came out, look, it's not that thick this way. See this? I got to put that in its place. So it sticks out back in the box further. And it's that thick, and this is narrower. It doesn't leave me much room to get all of my wires in there, right? So I got to push this whole thing in there. And so I may have to reroute, push some wires. Like there's a couple wires in here that look like I may have to rearrange, but I'm not gonna worry about that just yet. I want to get these wires straight. See how much longer that one is. And these were wrapped together. And I'm going to undo them to make it so it's easier to refinagle them back into the box when I get ready. I'm just straightening the wire out. I hope when I put the wires together, I don't burn something up, the switch or something. Usually if you wire something wrong, let's say, it's just not going to work, and then you've got to turn the power back off and then change 2 wires. Okay, well, that's what we have. That's what we got so far. Well, that's all I got for this time. But I'll be back, yes, with more videos.